Guys, what's up? So a little bit of a different pace. This was a bit of a surprise. Crazy story, we're gonna tell it here. But I ended up with a 1976 Porsche. Hi! Alright guys, I did it. I bought another car. I made another bad financial decision so you don't have to. Yeah, as of right now, I own a 1976 Porsche 911. Not just any Porsche 911, but a Porsche 911 and a 930 body. And man, I love this car. What can I say? It speaks to me. It is timeless. The reason I wanted this car is just because it's an old soul, and I can relate to that. But it is just such a very physical, very no electronics. There's not I mean, to my knowledge, there's not a single computer chip in this. Listen to this. Listen. It's cute. I love it. I love it. The horn is amazing, but there is like maybe beside the radio, I don't think there's any other electronics to assist the driving experience, and that's why I love this car. It is the only car, in my opinion, that is truly timeless. You know, there might be a couple other that I'm thinking about it, but this car is the best example of a timeless car. It's not a supercar. It's not a new Gucci, Ferrari or Lamborghini or, you know, what's out there, Koenigsegg's. You know, it's not one of those. But, man, is it freaking gorgeous? Does it put a smile on my face? Does it give me that feedback that I need? Abso-freaking-lutely. I love this car. Now let's talk about the financial problems I had. This was a really bad idea, guys. Like I said, I had taxes, you know, that's close to 10 grand. House, that's pretty much everything I can throw at the wall. We had to go above and beyond for our offer in this market. We couldn't throw anything at this car, not even a deposit. Luckily, I knew the guy. He's a friend of mine. We've shot photos together before, part of the Utah Euro Meet group. Well, not part of it, but I mean, it was the drive we had was part of it. So luckily I had an in, and I was talking with the guy nonstop, like just for the past like week or two prior to purchasing the car, just figuring out everything I can on the car, making sure it's good to go. We had test driven it. I fell in love with it. You know, me and him were having an emotional connection on every single level about this car. Him telling me stories about, you know, taking his wife out on dates with this car and their first date in it, and just how long he's cared for it and had it and babied it and just wanted to keep it really in his house with him in his household. Luckily I was able to snag it from him though, and it was painful. It was a painful process, and like I said, banks had denied me at this point. I was on my last resort. This was the last ditch effort, and through financial maneuvering we were able to get it approved with the loan officer, which I was very lucky. Live It, Dream It on Instagram. I owe you a huge thank you for the recommendation. Go check him out. Link in the description down below for helping me get in this car. But yeah, no, I lucked out, and we finally were able to get into this vehicle. And we walked into the bank, me and you know, I was there first. Found the the loan officer, and she was super friendly, super nice, great loan officer. But she's not a car person, you know. She was so confused as to like why I was, you know, very eager to get into this car, and she didn't really understand what the car was at the time too. We couldn't bring the car that day either because it was raining, so we had pictures, basically pictures to go off of. I was worried that they were going to think that this was a scam because, like, they haven't seen the car, and I was like, I promise you it's real, it's beautiful, I've been there, here's a photo of me with it. And, you know, luckily they believed it, they took it, and they're like, yeah, okay, it's real, you know, here's a VIN, okay, cool. I was surprised at how easy it was to verify a car for them. But Mike comes in, and he's got all the paperwork, everything in the car, and you could just see it on his face, just like, this is painful. This is a painful process for him. You know, this car was one of his, you know, kind of babies, and it was painful to see it go for him. And I was just trying to get through this process because I had been through hell and back between a couple of banks to try and get this going, and yeah, the exchange with the loan officer when a little like there's two dudes. Imagine this: two dudes crying in front of you because of an object, right? To your opinion, and you're just sitting there between these two guys. She was just sitting with this legit expression, just like, what the heck is going on between these two? You know, as if it was an adoption of a legitimate child or son or something. And we get through the paperwork, the process. It gets more and more painful. And finally signs the last paper. I sign the last paper. And he says his goodbyes to it. You know, and keep in mind, he still has a car at this point in his garage. He's going to house it for a few days until it stops raining. But, you know, that was the send-off, you know. And we just hug, like me and this guy, just bromance, you know, just, this was tough. This was brutal. I went through hell and back. I went through an emotional process. He's going through an emotional process. We're both not grieving, but relieved over, you know, it's over, it's done. And, you know, I look over to Mike, he's about to cry. And I look over to the loan officer, and she's just like head tilted, just like had never seen this before. You know, she's like, huh. And well, I tell her out loud, I'm like, this is kind of like he just, you know, sold this kid. This is a big deal for both of us. We're both emotional. And she rubs it in, and I was like, anyway, she says this, and she goes, no joke, aw, you'd give up your kid for sin? And I was like, lady, shut up, what are you doing? You're hurting my chin. Like, you're taking the salt and just pouring it in that wound. And I'm like, he was this close not selling this car to me, and she just rubbed that wound in, and I was like, shut up, you know. Mike was talking to me about, you know, oh, you could sell this car, you can make more money off of it, you could blah, blah, blah. I don't think I'm going to do that for a long time. I really do have plans for this vehicle, this beautiful car. I do want to get it looking very, very pristine, showroom worthy. You know, I do intend to drive it. We just went out on kind of a pseudo cruise today with my good buddy Blake, who owns this facility. And if there's noise in the background, you know, it's because they're always working 24/7. This is a Saturday, and they're out here grinding on these vehicles. But big shout out to Blake at Kodak Lab. Link in the description down below, guys. If you need any PPF or detailing on your high-end luxury cars, Kodak is the place to go in northern Utah. It is the best shop, best buds with him. And anyway, great guy, great team. With all that being said, guys, I made the worst financial decision I've ever made in my life. But man, I'm happy. Like, honestly, I'm really happy with this car. You know, it took a lot to get here. The reason I wanted this car in particular is because it just is timeless. It's an old soul, but yet timeless. You know, you see a lot of cool cars. I get to see a lot of cool cars in my life. You know, I work with people who have cool cars on daily. You know, I get to shoot really cool cars. I get to go to events. I get to do things, you know, that are pretty awesome, and I'm lucky to be able to do. But this is rare in the fact that it is a true analog piece of work. It is a true as it gets machine connection. I love that exhaust. It sounds so just. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your worst financial mistake was. I'd love to hear it, guys. I'd love to actually pin the worst financial mistake comment. Yeah, guys, I appreciate your viewership. It means the world to me. Thank you to my wonderful wife who's right over there, who's on her phone, making sure that the camera's rolling. Thank you to Blake over at Kodak for helping me with the facility. And thank you to Mike for selling me this beautiful car. I appreciate you, bro. And you'll see this thing on the road. You'll see this thing in its full glory, and excited to give it the second life it deserves. And thank you so much for sharing this vehicle with me. I treasure and love it, and truly appreciate it. We do have some more stories to tell about this car and the history, since we do have all the documentation from even the original owner and the receipts. But we'll tell that story another time. For now, guys, God bless. Take care. Thanks for watching.